We are now officially in the top 10 for my 2025 NFL Power Rankings. Today we're talking about the Buccaneers, and I find this team really interesting because here they are in the top 10. Yet, how many players on this lineup would you say are top 5 in their respective position? One, maybe two? Yet here they are in the top 10, and they deserve to be here. If they didn't, I wouldn't have them here. They are a very good team. This, more than any other team in the NFL, is a clear example of how a professional sports team can be more than just the sum of its parts. And it starts with Todd Bowles. The culture that he has established with this team has done them wonders, right? When Todd Bowles first got promoted, I wasn't expecting him to do too much. I didn't think he would be sticking around like this, let alone leading Tampa to consistently be a very good football team. No one encapsulates the culture of this team, though, quite like their quarterback. You gotta love it when a quarterback is willing to do anything in order to gain some yards. Baker Mayfield is just such a fun watch. He has such a great arm, but more than anything, it's his energy, the way he plays, the grit he plays with. And that energy is contagious. Guys want to play for Tampa Bay. Chris Godwin turned down more money to stay in Tampa. This is the deepest wide receiver room in the NFL. Chris Godwin is great. He's great. He's able to separate well. He's a good route runner. Mike Evans is able to go downfield, make big plays. He's a nice possession guy. Jalen McMillan is just like Godwin in the sense that he's a nuanced type of route runner. He looked really good in his rookie year. And now they drafted Emeka Egbuka, who is a very good slot receiver, another nuanced route runner, able to do a lot for them. Sterling Shepard is another guy, separates well. And Trey Palmer is a guy that I really like. It's a talented wide receiver core. Cade Otton is another great weapon for them from the tight end spot. Last year, under Liam Cohen, this offense wanted to take advantage of all those weapons, right? Their passing game is pretty simplistic in the sense of they want to beat you in the flats. They are going to throw the ball outside the numbers, but not too far down the field. They trust Baker Mayfield with his arm to consistently be able to operate that, and he does a very good job with it. But the question becomes, how are you really going to threaten the middle of the field? Well, that's what the running game is for. Liam Cohen is no longer the offensive coordinator. Now the passing game coordinator, Josh Grizzard, is the offensive coordinator. He got promoted. I still feel really good about this offense being able to operate in a similar fashion. I don't think they're going to miss a beat, really. The run game is going to be the engine, once again. They are going to consistently work the short passing game outside the numbers, and they are going to hit you over the middle with physicality at the point of attack and win on the line of scrimmage. You look at this offensive line, it's really good. Tristan Wirfs is absolutely outstanding, one of the best left tackles in the NFL, and guys like Cody Mauch are just able to dominate you. They are able to push guys around and really pave lanes open for the running backs, who are both really talented. Rachaad White is more of that elusive guy in open space that's going to make some plays. And then Bucky Irvin is going to be that downhill runner. He could also make some cuts really well, but his center of gravity is so low, it makes him difficult to bring down, and he just lowers his shoulder and will run you over too. Bucky Irvin is a back that I really fell in love with, not only coming out of college, but especially during his rookie season. Big Bucky Irvin guy, and I always have been. But Todd Bowles prides himself on the defense, all right? How's the defense going to play? Well, it definitely will play Todd Bowles' style of football. Todd Bowles is all about being aggressive on the defensive side of the ball. Blitz, 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 blitz. That's what they like to do. They're going to base out of their 3-4 look and expect to see a lot of five-man pressure, you know? They have 3 interior defensive linemen. They're going to have 2 edge rushers. Those 2 edge rushers are there to get to the quarterback. Okay, they are not there to drop back into coverage. That's not really going to be their job. They're going to do it a bit, but it's not going to be expected of them too much. They're going to be sending those guys a lot. And this D-line is damn good. I mean, Vita Vea, he's immovable. The guy weighs 350 pounds. And Kalijah Kancey is this technical fiend. Having a duo like that is great because Vita Vea demands a double team with his 350-pound frame, and that allows Kalijah to use his handiwork and all his technique in a one-on-one matchup. You can't do that as much when you're facing off against a double team. But when Vita Vea is the guy who's always getting a double team, and you really just have to beat a one-on-one run blocker, then you're able to really work your hands, and that's where Kalijah really excels. It's going to be really fun to watch this duo continue to do their thing. Yaya Diaby wins with sheer power off of the edge. He has a bull rush, and he's going to do it repeatedly because he is great at it. But this Tampa Bay defense, especially under Todd Bowles, has identified mainly with one player, and that has been Lavonte David. Pretty much the whole time Bowles has been there, it has been the Lavonte David show. This guy is going to have a couple of blitzes. They're going to send him a bit, but he is such a nice do-it-all guy, and even though he's an older player, he can still cover really well. Lavonte David, I'm a big fan of him and his game. And then in the secondary, they might not be the most well-rounded group, right? But Zion, McCollum, and Jamel Dean have a certain play style, and it perfectly complements this scheme. Todd Bowles is going to tell them, I want you in tight physical coverage. I want you to use your physicality. And that's exactly what they're going to do. You throw them in a Gus Bradley scheme, and they're asked to run a lot of soft zone coverage. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work overly well. But when you're really just asking them, hey, I want you to just follow this receiver around, be physical, throw off the timing for his route, that's where those guys excel. And then you have a guy like Antoine Winfield playing the safety spot, such a rangy guy who might not be too tall, but man, he's an athlete that's going to get after the ball and really contest any catch. You'll love to see a player like that. Overall, the Buccaneers are a team that's going to play aggressive defense, and then offensively, they're going to be efficient, kind of dink and dunking their way down the field, operate a little bit more using that run game that is a very effective attack. And then when they need a big play, that's when you see a deep shot to Mike Evans, right? But for the most part, they're trying to operate down to down, win the time of possession battle. How does that translate to their record? Let's look at the schedule and find out. I think this year, the NFC is really just going to eat each other alive. And as a result, Tampa with 12 wins is going to find themselves as the 1 seed in the NFC. I think they have a easy schedule, honestly. And I talked about it. I think they're a good team. Now, are they the best team in the NFC? No, but I think they're going to have the best regular season in the NFC. They're tied with one other team, but they have a tiebreaker over them. We'll get into that. Just looking at the schedule, though, starting with week 1, I think they could win 4 straight. I really do think they're going to kill it to start the year. Now, can Houston give them problems? Yeah, Houston absolutely can give them problems. But I don't think the Falcons are going to do too much. I'm sorry. I just think the Buccaneers are going to score all over that offense. Or all over that defense. I don't see what about Atlanta can really make the Buccaneers struggle offensively here. I think they are going to run through them. And I think passing the ball is going to be easy because the Falcons are this team that's going to play softer coverage. And the Buccaneers want to dink and dunk anyway, so they're playing directly into them, in my opinion. I think that the Buccaneers are going to win that first game, without a doubt. Then week 2, Texans can give them trouble. I acknowledge that. I'm glad this is Monday night. This should be a really fun one. Game is in Houston. This is one I can kind of see as a coin flip. But I'm giving it to the Buccaneers because I really like that Bucs run game. And while I think this Texans pass defense is unbelievable, I think it's great. I don't think they're quite stout enough on the interior and with their linebacker core to stand up against that run game. I don't. I think they're going to be able to have a decent defensive game, but I think the Buccaneers on offense will be able to score a decent amount. And then this Buccaneers defense, the amount of blitzes they're going to send, C.J. Stroud is not going to be ready. With this offensive line, that Texans offensive line is weak. It's weak. It's a really bad matchup playing on such a blitz-heavy team that's going to take advantage of such a bad offensive line. I just don't think the Texans can do much, or at least that offensive line can do much against that D-line, so that's a big part of it too. Then the Jets, this is the Buccaneers' first home game. I think they're going to win the home opener against the Jets. Justin Fields has never been great against the blitz. right? He might be able to escape sometimes, but he struggles to diagnose and get the ball out of his hands quick. This is a team where you have to get the ball out of your hands quick. And that's exactly why I think Jalen Hurts loses to the Buccaneers also. Jalen Hurts isn't great at beating the blitz. He really isn't. Now, Kellen Moore helped him a lot with that last year. Kellen Moore's gone. Jalen Hurts, throughout his NFL career, has always been pretty bad against the blitz. Last year was a little bit of an outlier because Kellen Moore helped him a lot. Will he have some of those blitz beaters this year? I don't know. Kellen Moore's gone. We'll see. Maybe having Saquon Barkley out of the backfield helps a lot. But Todd Bowles has always kind of had Philly's number. So I'm taking the Buccaneers there. Now, I do think Seattle can beat them. I think Seattle, with all the disguised coverages, I think they're going to be able to play tighter if they need to, and this is a game where they do need to. I think they're going to send some disguised blitzes, and I think guys like Leonard Williams on that defensive line, like, they are good in their defensive front. This is one where the Buccaneers won't be absurdly great in terms of running the football. I think the Buccaneers are kind of due for a loss in one of these 3 weeks, in one of those 2 weeks, really, week 5 or week 6. I don't think they're going to have a 6-game win streak to start the year. I just don't see it happening. I think the Texans coming off a mini-bye, Seattle coming off a mini-bye is going to be the team to do it to them. Now, San Fran, I think San Fran can beat them, right? They're going to have that rhythm passing attack going against a blitz-heavy team. That's normally a formula for success. They're also going to be able to play tighter coverage against them to disrupt those passing patterns. I get it. But at the same time, I do think the game's in Tampa Bay, so that's one thing. I also look at it and I say, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, San Fran isn't great in the secondary. They aren't. I like Robert Saleh, and I think he's going to make them refined, but I don't think they have the Jimmies and Joes to go toe-to-toe with that Buccaneers receiver room. I just don't. I don't think they are good enough at the corner spot. So I'm taking Tampa Bay to win that one. But I could see that one going either way. I really can in week 6. Now, week 7, it's tough. This one's tough. I'm giving it to the home team. For me, that's what this comes down to. But it's going to be awesome to see that Lions offensive line against this Buccaneers defensive line. Like, that should be sick. That should be sick. But also, no Frank Ragnow now. That's a very real thing here. That hurts them a lot. Vita Vea might have a little bit of a better game than he would if Frank Ragnow was fully, on the team and everything. I look at this one. Again, it could go either way, but the game's in Motown. It's in Detroit. I give Detroit credit for having home field here. I do think Detroit also has some corners that could go toe-to-toe with that receiver room, could step up. I don't feel that way about the Saints at all. I don't think the Saints have the guys on the defensive line to go toe-to-toe with that offensive line. I think the Buccaneers might score 40 against the Saints, really. Then week 10, off a bye, I just think they're a better team than the Patriots. They are a lot better in terms of their personnel. They're a lot more well-rounded. How will Drake May respond to all these blitzes? Josh McDaniels might dial some stuff up that allows them to maybe do some damage here, but they're coming off a bye. I like to think they won't get caught off guard. Now, week 11 against the Bills. I think this might be one where Josh Allen kind of just gets caught lacking, but I could also see Josh Allen doing a lot of damage. Todd Bowles might not quite be ready. Todd Bowles and all the blitzes and everything. If they're not sacking Josh Allen is still getting a clean ball off. That's the thing here. And you're taking guys out of coverage, blitzing these elite quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, like Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes. That doesn't always work. So I'm giving this one's really tough. I'm giving it to Tampa, but I could absolutely see an argument for Buffalo. I absolutely can, because the Buccaneers are going to take guys out of coverage. They're going to try and blitz him. But I think for me the main thing is defensively for the Bills. What are they doing to stop Baker? How are they stopping Bucky Irvin? How are they stopping that run game? I don't think they really can. I don't think they have a good enough interior defensive line. I don't think they have a good enough secondary. I don't think they're good enough defensively. I think it's going to be a really high-scoring affair. It should be a really fun one, but I'm taking Tampa. I think Josh Allen also might not have a great day on that one. Now, week 12, I think Sean McVay and the boys, he's going to make sure they're ready to play this one. The game is in L.A. Tampa just won 2 straight off of the bye. I think now they kind of just get caught against a really good Rams team Rams will be playing really well around this point of the year. That's what they tend to do around week 12. They start to really pick it up and get in playoff mode. That defensive line, we know that they're getting more and more stout there. I think Jared Verse and the guys, they're going to be able to hold up on the line of scrimmage. The run game won't be able to get going too much. Yeah, the dink and dunk stuff will work. Like, the Buccaneers will be able to get on the board. But I think the Rams match up decently well against the Buccaneers, and they're the home team, so I'm picking them. Then I have them winning 2 straight. The Cardinals, I think, are good. But I think Tampa could just beat you in so many different ways with the dink and dunk stuff, with the run game, with the aggressive defense. And that's the big thing here, too. Kyler Murray against the blitz. Sometimes he's able to escape, but he's not someone that will really stand in the pocket and be willing to take a hit from a free rusher. You know, he might try and bail out on plays a little bit too quick, try and get the ball out a little bit too quick at times, just because he doesn't want to get hit. Todd Bowles will beat up on a quarterback that's like that. Then the Saints, we talked about it. I don't think the Saints are good at all. The Buccaneers are far better, far more talented, so I have them winning that. Atlanta, I think maybe they catch Tampa off guard right here. Just later in the season, just an upset. Not really any elaborate reason there. I think Michael Penix is really starting to get adjusted at this point. Then, week 16, I think the Panthers have no one defensively to stop this unit. No one defensively to stop this offense. So I think Tampa's going to win that one. I think Tampa's going to beat the Dolphins too. I think the Panthers kind of just get a week 18 upset because by now the Buccaneers are a little bit toned out. Like, they locked up the 1 seed at this point. So they have their backups in the game. And I think the Panthers will win that one just to end their season on a high note. The Buccaneers don't care about that game. They have their backups in. I think this is a schedule with some tough games. Like, Philly, tough team. You know, the Rams, tough team. Bills, tough team. Lions, tough team. But Texans, tough team. But generally, like, the Jets, yeah, no. Week 1 playing against Atlanta, I feel really good about that. The fact they're playing against the Saints twice, the fact they're playing against the Panthers twice, it's an easier schedule. And Tampa's a really well-rounded team. They're going to be able to beat those teams that they're just simply better than. So, Buccaneers, I have them as the 1 seed in the NFC. I think them having an easier schedule helps them with that, but they're also just a good team and deserve their respect for that. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.